Why does that make me nervous? I guess it's going because normally it like pops up and says, okay. All right. Now. Oops. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
Okay, you're good?
Yeah, I
Okay.
just get a little, you know,
Me
every time
too.
live, I get a little.
We don't have to.
No, I'm fine with it. I
Okay.
promise.
Okay. I've never done this before this way. I probably shouldn't have recorded yet. We'll have to trim.
Yeah,
a
you
little
can
bit.
edit it.
Okay. I think we might have it. Okay. All right. So we are here because we wanted to do a recap of our Paris trip. It only took us 5 months to get our lives back together after we got home. So we are going to go through some pictures and just share stories. And it's mainly not even for all of whoever might be watching this. It's mainly for our girls because we want them to have the special memories that their mom went to Paris with her friends, and hopefully they'll do something like that soon. I know we've kind of mentioned before when our girls are a little bit older, we'll all take our girls. That's so fun. Yeah. So hopefully you guys can hear me, and I'm hoping that I don't know how to check it if the volume is working or not. So okay, so let's just dive into it. I'm not going to show you all of the pictures because we took probably 15 million.
We did wait till like Friday.
Right. But I do have some that I think are really fun to share. So this is when I went to go pick up Katie, and just her reaction was just so funny for me. I don't know. It's not showing. It's not showing. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
There you go. I think it might be a little delayed.
Is it delayed?
Like our
There we go. Okay, so let's look at that again. Your excitement.
You got it down.
Okay, we're trying here. I am trying.
Yeah, and what time was it that morning that we were all
It was pretty early.
getting together? I mean, it wasn't like 6 in the morning, but it was, I mean, it was on the earlier side.
Okay, let's see if this is gonna work. Okay, so here we are, ready to go. Just kind of fun. So just share stories as I'm going through this. We knew it was gonna happen to one of us. And you're that lucky one.
This was the over 50 pounds.
I thought I did good too, guys. I was like, yes, I think we got
We
it.
did it.
Well,
Okay.
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 Here's the thing. I had emailed the girls or messaged them, to them, and said, here's how you need to like get your body ready for the time change. Maybe like 2 days before, like kind of go to bed around this time, you know, and then like let's sleep on the plane. Well, Katie did an amazing job.
I kept looking back at the doctor, Katie, and they were so comfy, like all passed out. I'm like,
I mean,
I couldn't get there.
I opened my eyes. I saw Amanda with her Coke and chips.
You know what? We'll get back to Coke and chips.
Yes.
Funny story. Coke and chips. Coke and chips.
Okay. Can't wait for it. All right, just documentation. Okay, this is when we were on our way from the airport to our location, our Airbnb location. And what were you guys thinking?
I know. Yeah. Just looking around at everything.
Yeah.
Just taking it all in.
Okay, so here we just dropped our bags off at our Airbnb, and now we're going to walk for brunch. And I'm like, girls, do you see it? Katie and Amanda saw it. Melissa, do you see it? Do you see it?
In my defense, I was half asleep.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And there was a lot just to like, there was, like,
Just so much
looking
to take
around.
in.
And
Yes.
it was cloudy and
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was
kind of
cloudy.
having to like far in the distance.
Okay, so do you want to explain this? Or do you make up?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Explain that.
There you go.
Cafe floor, yes, that was one of the cafes that I just saw everywhere. Everyone kept saying that's amazing, but like we need to go there. Natasha's like, oh yeah, that's like right up the street from where we are. So that was our first stop. And yeah.
We had high
it was-
expectations for this place.
Yeah,
didn't
we were like, okay, this is the cafe
Well-
that everybody goes to. It's supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, and you've used the pictures before too with things. And
Yeah.
so we had really high expectations. Did it meet our expectations?
I think for you.
No, not for me.
No, the Caesar salad.
Oh,
But the croissant was so good.
You
I had the chocolate croissant.
I
Yeah.
got one, I think I got one, yeah. And it was, yeah, I think
So good.
if you go, if anybody's planning to go, stick with the,
Yeah,
yeah.
so good.
because you're not quite sure what you're gonna get with the actual like food. Well, their version of Caesar salad is different than
Very different.
American.
We thought, that was kind of basic, something that we could just eat, and yeah, it was.
Not
I
good.
think we did more like pushing it around.
Yeah.
Not like
And all four of us sharing Amanda's croissant. That's what we were doing.
There's,
So there it is. There's that croissant.
oh yeah, and it's
Okay, so something for me that I absolutely love about Paris is the aesthetic of everything. So the whole city, with the exception of the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, and this really big, nasty black building that should not be there. The people that built it found a loophole and was able to build it. But everything else is just the neutral colors, like all of the buildings, like the whites and the creams, but then they have the flowers outside of the buildings, like you can see here, like, I mean, just all over the place. And it's so pretty to me. So I wanted to make sure that I noted that. And I love the artists that are along the Seine, just painting and drawing and singing. Okay, some more. So this is like a dog shop. It's the prettiest dog shop that I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I love this picture of you, Melissa, with the like flags above you, but you can still see here like the aesthetic of the buildings and stuff. And I love doors. They have all the pretty doors.
Yeah.
This guy, we have all of our videos right now muted just so that you guys can hear us talk about it, but he was playing one of my favorite songs, and just having him there on the Seine River with the Eiffel Tower in the background. This was my third trip to Paris, and Paris is actually not even my favorite city in the world, but being there with the girls and just experiencing it all over again at this stage in my life, it was just so good. And so like everything is just like, even this moment is like what you think of Paris, right? And so just to experience it again is just so amazing. Okay, so this was our Airbnb. It was a sweet little Airbnb in a really, really good location. If I had to go back, I would choose something a little bit bigger. A little cramped. Yeah, but the view, I don't know if you saw the view there, but it had that really cool big building.
Yeah.
It was a great
Yeah,
location.
near a lot of
Yeah.
places. Yes,
Yeah.
cafes and shops.
Right next to the Louvre,
Mhm.
just across the river from Notre Dame. It's a really, really good
City
location.
Hall, gorgeous City Hall.
City Hall.
It was all lit up and had that
Right.
little. Oh, yeah.
Our White House isn't as pretty as their
Mm.
City Hall.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. Sometimes when I do I don't know, it gets stuck a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right, Melissa.
Oh.
Tell us.
The first full day.
Yeah. This was the next.
No, this is the first full day.
Yeah,
First full day, that's right.
I mean, that day seemed like 3 days.
But
But it was the
Yeah.
first full
Yeah.
day. it was also Melissa's 40th birthday.
Yes.
So what a way to celebrate your 40th birthday and be together. And so Melissa, I'll let you finish telling the story here.
Yeah, so my husband was like, what do you want for your birthday? I want to go and have some high tea in Paris with my girls. So he's like, done, pick a spot and I will take care of it.
Yay,
So-
Ethan.
So we went to the Four Seasons and absolutely,
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
the ambiance,
so classy,
so classy.
so delicious.
I have some pictures. Before I go through the pictures, let me just kind of recap just a little bit. So we landed in Paris at 7:30 in the morning, something like that. I expected for the girls to be able to see like Paris and the Eiffel Tower from the airplane. The 2 other times that I had been there, it was in the spring. So, you know, time changes and the sun rising and everything is different in the winter. And so it was pitch black. And so they didn't get to see any of that. So we landed, we got our suitcases to the Airbnb, and that was dragging them around like.
Oh,
So cool. We
that
had,
was your whole
you have 4 girls that are going to Paris in winter. We need all the coats. We had so much luggage with us.
and these are cobblestone, like sidewalks, and our wheels to our suitcases were getting stuck.
I was driving and all of a sudden. I mean, like one of them happened.
Oh, stars, hair,
They're like,
laugh.
there's the American.
There's the Americans.
Yeah.
Stuck out.
Oh, we laughed, and then, yeah, that was a workout.
So we got up to our Airbnb location and then we're hungry. So we go into Cafe de la Fleur and have that bad lunch. And then we have to take a nap. That's just, so we come back to the Airbnb, Amanda has passed out before I even like
No,
saw my suitcase down.
I was out. I'm like, y'all have
Because she didn't sleep on the airplane.
watched all the movies. Yeah.
So we figured out, and then our plan was to go to high tea, so we get all dressed up. But mind you, it's still winter, so you can see I'm real frumpy. I've got that coat at a yard sale, and it's like 2 sizes too big, but it's the warmest thing ever, and that's all I cared about was to be warm. So now we're at the Four Seasons, and we're trying to act as if we know what we're doing. But it's just so pretty in there, as you would expect Four Seasons in Paris to be, and everything is all done in Christmas lights, and you can see, and I think the biggest, like Katie's look right there, the awe and the wonder, that is why I even booked this trip, because like traveling with my friends and my family, that's all I really want to do in life. And to be able to like see you girls, just the captivated looks on your faces, where it was just like everything to me.
It was.
And that was like every day though.
It
Like,
was,
every
yeah.
day. I feel like I had that.
So yeah, you had the pianist there playing, and you have all the French people and the chitter chatter, and it was just lovely. Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah.
Just some pictures. Shall we talk about trying to figure out our outfits? So we booked this trip, we found good flights, we booked the trip, and then we left like 6 weeks later. So we really didn't have that for a trip like this. People plan their whole lives for a trip like this.
Yeah.
We had 6 weeks to try to figure out all of our outfits. I think we did a pretty good job, but
I think the internet was busted because we were ordering. Trying to get them in like in time.
I know, just how everything is so fancy. That was our table before the dessert started being laid down in front of us. Okay, so this was my first time trying caviar. I
Mine
can't remember. Yeah,
too.
me too.
All of us.
Everybody, yeah. Katie's face here trying caviar. There you go. There it is. There it is. Yeah. It was interesting.
It was.
Here,
The texture is what threw me off,
Yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
was like crunchy, but then it was like creamy in the middle.
it was, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're like, it's French. It's French. Yeah. So there it is. There's our little caviar. I sent this picture to Clint, and he sent back, mi amor.
Yeah.
Like, "Aw."
Yeah.
The
Oh,
birthday
nice.
girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
I went by it kind of fast.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
I know. I know.
I remember
It's so
feeling
good.
so overwhelmed in the part. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here.
Right? I know.
So magical.
Look at all the desserts that we ate that night.
I had like 8. Oh, yeah.
So full. Happy birthday. There we go.
Yes.
And it was so good. All the teas.
The
tea
so
was
good.
It was really
Incredible.
good. Okay, now here's our photo shoot time, right? Because we
the runway.
the runway. Amanda, you didn't jump in there for the
I was just the
runway.
video. I was just the video.
I love that picture of you.
So good. Oh yeah, girl. Go ahead now.
Okay, so here, my next plan after our high tea was to take them to see the Arc de Triomphe and Champs-Élysées, not Champs-Élysées, which I was reminded of. Champs-Élysées. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So we
Yeah.
walk up and I'm like, oh, what is happening right now? It's full, it looks like a full-on like riot. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a fire going on top of a car over there. There's all the militia. And I'm like, girls, I need you to stay here because I feel responsible for them. You know, like, what am I going to do? I mean, I guess they, you know, like taking one versus all 4 of us would be best. But I'm like, okay, you guys stay back. I'm going to go see what's happening. So I get up there and I'm like assessing the situation. Like, they seem happy, even though there's fire in the top of the car. And even though there's like all these cops and stuff, like it seems celebratory. So finally I turned to somebody and I said, what is happening? And this was when Morocco beat Canada in the World Cup. And so I did not know that there was such a large Moroccan presence in Paris. I do now. And they were celebrating. And so I'm like, okay, it's celebratory. We're good. So I go get the girls and seeing their faces. Sorry, you'll have to I haven't edited these videos at all. So we'll get there. Give me a second. A lot going on in this moment. So the Champs-Élysées, I don't know if I said that right, is the really high-end shopping area there that you see. And then it leads to the Arc de Triomphe, which was built by Napoleon on one of his when he conquered someplace. I can't remember. I have to learn more about that. But look at your faces. I love it. Was it bigger than you guys thought?
Oh, yeah. Everything seemed
Mhm.
bigger. Right. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, so we actually had tickets that night to go up into the Arc. And it's just mass chaos. And we're like trying to figure out how we can get over there. And we're like,
We could just cross the street.
look how many cars. Look how many cars.
It's cars. I know it's not like America where like somewhat.
Even the roundabouts here, we all know are like
Well,
chaos. But
Yeah.
there's no
Like-
lanes.
Like everybody should.
And
go
this
to
is
the
what,
place, you know.
maybe 6 across or
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's just
Lot.
It's a lot.
You would like you would
Yeah.
So like National Lampoon, one of their movies, you know,
Yes.
has like this whole scene, and it's very accurate to what it is. I cannot believe I didn't know that there was an underground tunnel under the street to go, because the other 2 times that I've been, I just stood across the street and just looked at it. I never went up. So, but because of everything happening with the celebration for Morocco, they actually closed the Arc down that night. So we were not able to get up there. So we're like, well, off to the Eiffel it is. So we, whose feet were hurting on that walk? Was it you or you? Nobody?
Possibly mine.
I think it was yours.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it was a little bit further of a walk than what we anticipated, but it was so worth it.
Yeah.
So worth it. But you're afraid of heights.
Yeah.
So look at your faces, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope in the recording that it's not choppy. The videos aren't choppy. But if it is. So anyways, you know, of course, taking all the pictures. This is Amanda where I regret not getting your face here too, because
No,
I think
it's
you were
still fine.
behind me.
Yes,
And I was trying to capture everything.
yes, I was, it's all good. I was probably
I think I overwhelmed all of the girls on how many pictures I took, but I just wanted to like capture every single moment, right? So fun. And okay, so is here, you cannot see in this picture, but like the Eiffel, it's massive,
huge, so big.
so big.
Yay.
Yay, I think I have it. Here we go.
There we go.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah. Okay, so you can see that this is like a really busy area. Of course, I love the Eiffel Tower, but in Paris, it is not my favorite thing. It's actually, it's not quote unquote dangerous, but it is like more of a sketchy area. So anyways, all the pictures. Okay, so here, again, it's still Melissa's 40th birthday. And so we barely made it there on time to be able to go to the champagne bar. We were
And I'm like, looking at him like, we better fill that thing up.
and he did.
Yeah.
Because you're afraid of heights.
Yes,
Yeah. And here I'm just kind of going over explaining like,
there's 2 elevators to get to the point where we were.
yeah.
So I did okay on the first one, and the second one I was like, like, oh,
What you know, out.
oh, so you can see everything.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can see out, so you can see yourself.
Yeah, I was doing
Higher
okay.
and higher and breathe, breathe.
Great, yeah, you guys.
I felt like you disappeared there for a little bit. Like I didn't know where you went, but it was also really cold, and I think you might have gone inside.
Oh, I might have.
Cause I like turned around and I'm like, I hope she's okay. I don't know where she is.
Oh, yeah, I was totally good. I
Yeah.
think, like, when sometimes I get in my head that I feel like something's swaying. So if I go towards, if I go towards the center of wherever I'm at, I'm like, okay, I don't think I feel as much.
Do that in the Nashville rooftop.
Oh.
I was nowhere near
I'm like,
the
"Do you
time.
feel it swaying?" And I was like,
Champagne.
yeah.
So yeah, it was really cold up there that night. Of course, like the wind. We're in Paris in December, so it's cold. But so you can see the light that is shining right now. You can see the Seine River there. All the things. So pretty. Any other thoughts about being on top of the Eiffel Tower?
It's just way different, like, because when you go on top of buildings like in New York versus like in a European country where they've not had the buildings go above a certain height, it actually is just, it's so beautiful because I feel like it just, I think it captures more of the beauty of the city in that way, you know?
Yeah,
But yeah.
great. So see with that Ferris wheel, we were staying over in that area. Our Airbnb was pretty close. That's the Louvre right there. And our Airbnb is real close to that. So we thought the Arc de Triomphe was big. And then to see how small it is when we're up on top of the Eiffel Tower, yeah, that to me is kind of like a wow moment. Oh, so I have to share a little bit about this. So Avery, she has her room done in like a little mouse in Paris, having tea and coffee and macaroons in Paris. So I took her little mouse. She has a couple of the mice around her room, and I took one of them, and I thought it'd be fun to take little pictures and videos of her mouse that is normally in her room traveling Paris with me. So it was fun for me to do that.
Yeah.
It was fun. Okay, so here, thanks, bonjour from Rue de Ravioli. Not ravioli, ravioli. Oh,
This is so
oh,
fun.
all these in order. Okay, that we'll have to come back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, just more of the aesthetic. So pretty. Did you guys expect that, by the way?
Actually, I was blown away how everything was just so beautiful. Like all of the buildings was, I mean, just the architecture, everything. It
Yeah.
didn't matter if it was like a little hole in the wall place. I mean, the outside of it was just beautiful.
The last time I had gone, it was with Ben, and I don't know if it's because we went to Spain first, and Spain is so incredibly clean that like you could eat off of their subway floors. And then we went to Paris, and so it didn't seem as clean. But I really do think that, well, and I've also read, they've taken great strides to clean up the city. And this time versus the time that I went with Ben, it was night and day.
Yeah, I
with
was
how
gonna
clean it
say, I
was.
was actually expecting it to be kind of dirty because I've heard that, but
Yeah.
I didn't think it was true at all. I mean,
No.
there was a little bit of graffiti and stuff first coming in, but
Yeah.
other than
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
like on the highway and stuff.
And the
but-
northern part of it, yeah. But once, like, I felt like once you got into Paris proper,
Yeah.
it was,
Oh, yeah.
it was good. Yeah. All the dessert,
Oh, gosh.
all of them,
Do they know how to do dessert?
right? Yeah, I feel like they do breakfast and like desserts. I
Yeah.
think that's their thing. Okay,
That was so good.
breakfast.
It's like pomegranate avocado toast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the
It was so
eggs
good.
Benedict.
Yeah.
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 It was so good. We had to wait for a little bit to be able to get in into this place. But so this is now, we're on day 2 now, full day 2. So we wake up and I had it for us to go to this restaurant on our way up to Montmartre. And it was going to be about an hour walk. And this was like maybe 15, 20 minutes into the walk. So just to kind of set the day out. So this was our first stop for the day. Of course, my little Marie Mousy, that's where I carried her. Almost the whole trip. Okay. So good. He wants to share this one. First, okay, before we got into this Uber, we had just finished breakfast and we were like, we could walk the rest of the way or we could get an Uber. And so we decided to get, we decided to walk. And we would take turns on who would run their GPS for that time period. And at this point, it was Katie running the GPS. And you know how it is like in a big city, it will like show you, okay, go this way. And you start walking that way and they're like, they will like turn around, like, no, go the other way. Well, we did that a couple times. We would like take like 5 or 6 steps and we'd be like, oh, no. And we'd turn around, we'd go the other way. And we're like, no, it is that way. And we kept doing that. And all of a sudden this guy, he rolls down his window and he screams out his window, what are you doing? That was my really bad projection.
I can only imagine how we would come out like a circle.
And we stand out too, right? We stand out in Paris. So with those people,
Yeah. So we finally are like, okay, maybe we should just get an Uber. So we get in this Uber. Let me just kind of back it up a little bit. And we get in and Katie goes, hi. And the guy starts cracking up laughing and gets on the phone with his wife and was like,
Oh, making fun of us. I know what's going on here.
exactly what we were all laughing so hard and he was like laughing, crying.
Other American moment.
And then he
Yeah.
put his phone down and he's like, oh, my wife.
It was really, really funny. So just the beauty of like this little pastry shop, just the beauty of it. Okay, now we're like entering into the Montmartre area. Montmartre is has always been my favorite area of Paris, and now I think we've all discussed it's all of our favorite areas. I felt like there was some. So right before, so there's like little Christmas shops all over Paris, and this is just one here in this area. Do you want to talk about the moment we had outside of that shop? Or you want to pass that?
You're gonna have to jog my memory.
What just happened this week with you? Do you want to talk about
Oh, Sure.
that? Okay.
Yeah, so we're in a little boutique and Natasha just casually brings something up about being a grandparent. And as I'm walking out, I'm like,
I think I saw a
have,
card.
was it?
I think that's what sparked
Okay, I
it.
can't
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
what the conversation, I don't remember how it started. But I was like, well, I have something to share with all of you ladies. And I just let it all out and told him, gonna be a grandma.
Yeah.
And then I loved what Amanda said there. I don't know. You're like, do it. Sure.
Yeah, totally.
And then Tasha's like, or Amanda's like, girl, you're gonna be a girl. I'll take it.
Totally.
Such a sweet, unexpected moment. Because none of us knew about it. It was kind of new.
I
We
just
found out about it.
Yeah. And I felt like you were like holding it in, and then all of a sudden you were able to share it, and we were all just able to celebrate that moment with you. So
Yeah, we had a lot more. We all just kind of hugged.
It was
It was
It was
sweet.
so good.
and the baby's here.
Yeah, he's here. He was born.
Love it. Okay, this is the I love you wall in Montmartre. Okay, so there are a lot of steps in Montmartre because it's set up on a hill. So just more walking. We walked a lot. A whole lot. Okay. Montmartre is the art district of Paris. And so you see all these just weird little art pieces, and this is one of those. Feel free, girls, to jump in and say whatever you want to say about the Montmartre area right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like getting towards the top.
There's a lot of stairs.
Yeah.
Lots of stairs. That's just one set of them right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this was when we finally kind of got to the top. And then one of those-
Oh, I love that area.
all the artists come out and then they,
They're just doing portraits
Yeah.
of people just like off the street. People just walking up and they sit down and they just start doing like beautiful portraits
yes,
of people.
Mhm.
yes, and so.
Like they're
realistic.
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it was fun to go around and just feel everybody's different
Mm-hmm.
technique and.
Yeah, because they're all a little different on, yeah. But it did start to rain a little bit, so then they did pack up quicker than probably what they normally do.
Yeah.
Well, we
but-
weren't even sure there were gonna be any artists.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not sure because it's sold out, but yeah, there was still a lot of artists.
Yeah, there really were. And we got into some great conversations with some of them. Look how good that is.
Yeah.
My first trip to Paris, I actually had a portrait done, and I thought, oh, like I was engaged to Ben at the time, and I'm like, oh, maybe he'd be interested because other people were getting it done. It was kind of like the, fear of missing out. Like, I'm like, okay, I'll get it done. And I still have it up in the attic. It looks nothing like me. It's a really good picture. I don't know what I was planning on doing with this thing. I mean, it's in the attic for almost 20 years.
I
I'll bust it out.
want to see it.
Before you guys leave, I'll bust it out. So it's just this really sweet, beautiful. It's small. The area is small, but it's sweet, and I just feel like there's like you get energized there, and I don't know, I'm an artsy kind of person, and I just really, really love it. So here you turn around the corner, and then you see this big, massive church building, this Sacre Cœur. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. It means Sacred Heart. So up on Montmartre, there was actually a battle up there where a lot of Christians were killed. And so that's why that church is there. Okay, here, this is not the best picture. And I was really sad this day that it was foggy for you guys, because it is such a great view of the Eiffel Tower, and you can barely make it out in the fog there if you look really hard. The Lock Bridge. I never got Melissa to the Lock Bridge down on the Seine River, but you see, you have a lock here. There was just so much to do. I just think we have to go back. Yeah, really. I think we need to go back. I think we need to do the train rides
I
around
feel like
France.
we did so much though in the
Yeah.
week. Not even that we were there.
Yeah.
Like I feel like for a normal like we were lucky enough to have Natasha, who had been there before. I traveled with her many times. She packs your day, which we'll kind of get into more with you and I.
Oh.
I think we have another full day. But you see so much. And I think that's one thing that I'm so grateful for, is that like a normal person would go to Paris and they would probably see maybe a quarter of what we saw in the time that we were there. So even though it was crazy packed, we saw so much. So much.
Yeah.
We really did.
We did.
really did. But there's still other things that I have not shown you. Well, so like going 3 times to Paris, and I don't want that to be lost on me, sorry. Going 3 times to Paris, and I still haven't been to a couple of the museums that I want to go to, just because there's just so much. And I'm like, oh, but Ben says I'm not allowed to go back to Paris for a while. So. Okay, so here's the Sacre Cœur, I believe. Sorry. Speaking of that. He knows I'm talking about Paris, and he's just making sure. Architecture is really, really beautiful. Okay, so there's like, just in Paris, just overall, there's like these, army guys or whatever. I don't know what they're called there, police. And Katie's like looking around, and I'm like she like almost ran into his gun. I thought that was a really funny moment.
Yeah, I had no idea there was like an army.
So
coming
this,
by.
when my first time to Paris, it scared me seeing all of these guys. I'm like, why? Why are they here? Are they expecting something? And then now being there 3 times and they're just there, I think it's just, safety. So I wanted to go to this restaurant because they supposedly have some really great French soup, but I wasn't hungry, so I didn't get the French soup. So I had to go back. Okay, so the coffees, right? The whole time I was there, what?
So we're staring at each other.
I know. You guys got cappuccinos and like lattes all the time. I never got any of that. I only went with black coffee every single time. And when I got home, I told Avery, I was like, I just got black coffee every time because the coffee is just really good. And she's like, Mommy. I guess I did it.
They were really.
They were so
Yeah.
tiny.
Okay. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, very tiny.
Yeah.
The Americano is what they're called.
I mean, if it was cooled down, that would be gone.
Yeah.
But
You
it
want
was
to
good.
explain this picture? Was it Melissa? You and I saw it, right?
Yes.
I couldn't remember if it was Amanda or not. There's so much symbolism. Okay, that Sacre Cœur, that Catholic church up in Montmartre, while it's beautiful with the architecture, I feel a little uncomfortable there because there's a lot of symbolism with it that I don't agree with. And so we're in this little cafe, and I come out of the bathroom and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this picture. This picture literally was like all the symbolism that I felt uncomfortable with at that church. And I just found it really interesting. Okay, Marie Mousy. So we're still in Montmartre, and it's becoming evening, and it's starting to sprinkle. But I think, Amanda, it was you who said it was kind of magical.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Oh, I loved it.
This guy's just randomly singing this beautiful song.
Yes. Yeah, it's like the way the street lamps hit the cobblestone streets,
Yeah, we'll go through it.
was just, yeah, it's just like out of a movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what's that? Owen Wilson played in Midnight in Paris, and he said something about like Paris becomes magical in the rain, something like that. And it really is true because it does just glisten and it takes like the crowds away. Everybody goes into the warm cafes and stuff. And so if you can stand it, if you can handle the rain, it's really beautiful
What
to
did
walk
you
around.
say? Paris in the winter is for the
Parisians.
Parisians.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool because you didn't really see a lot of tourists.
We might have been the only ones.
Yeah. That way.
It really did feel that way. I mean, we engaged in so much amazing conversation with locals that had we gone in like high season, which is like now, like the springtime high season, maybe we wouldn't have because all the locals probably would be really annoyed with the tourists at that point, you know? So I love this picture of just like the little umbrellas. Okay, so here's the Montmartre Museum, which it was my first time going to. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. Very interesting.
There's a lot about Paris that we will get to in a minute, you just have to like realize, it's interesting. Yeah, so here, it was kind of cold outside, so we were being goofy inside. And we're like, let's just do some fun setup. All music to ourselves. So you can just see how pretty Montmartre is. There's the little cafe that I was telling you about. They consider. Yeah. Okay, so here is Pablo Picasso's one of his apartments that he lived in. He was in Paris, which is really cool to me. Oh, let's just go back though, because when we were there and walking down to get our Uber, which Uber was harder to get there than what I realized. If I go back, I will figure out a different form of transportation. We can talk about the one crazy Uber here in a minute. But remember like the guys, like those three guys started talking to you all the way down the street and we were like, what's gonna happen? Everything was fine.
Yeah, I'm actually friends
Oh, in your shop, right?
Yeah.
Okay, even though there's a lot of symbolism with that place and I don't really love it, I love this photo and how
Yeah.
beautiful it is. Okay, here is a little speakeasy that we found.
Oh, yeah.
This is fun.
Which one is this?
This one, I think we
No.
just had, I think we just had.
Was it the
Just-
Mexican?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
that's
was.
right.
They were supposed to feed us tacos, and when they didn't, we left.
Wait, no
We did-
tacos? No,
Yeah,
out of here.
Yeah.
We had like. Yeah, we're done.
Yeah. But it was really pretty.
Yeah, everything in Paris.
Yes.
So
They're like, here, you sit here. There's like four of us. It was like, like two people. Then we have a bench. We have a seat.
sharing
Like,
laughs
can you
tonight.
sit on my-
Yeah, I don't know if you can really see how squeezed we are, but we're squeezed. We're squeezed now too, though. Oh,
Here we
okay.
go, here we go.
So when they did not feed us tacos, we're like, well, we're starving, so we're gonna go find some pizza. And the second time I went to Paris was with Ben, and we ordered a pizza one night, and we didn't know what this one word was, and that was before like smartphones. We didn't know, we couldn't just look things up, and it was oof. And they came out with a pizza and it had an egg in the middle of it, and we're like, they're joking with us. They know that we don't know what this is, and so we ate it anyways, and it was so good. And so it come to find out, it actually is a very like French thing to have an egg on your pizza. And I really wish that people served it like that here because it was good. And so I ordered it for the girls. I don't think you guys got to like get a lot of the egg because it was just the way that the pizza was done. But next time we go, we'll have to get more of that. But this night in particular was so fun because we didn't even mean to end up in this place. We got sat at a really long table, and so we're over to the left side, and about halfway through our meal, the waiter comes and he sets down three guys over to the right. So there's like a couple chairs in between that are empty, or some space that is empty. and then they're over at the right side, we're on the left side. So we are finishing up, but we have a lot of pizza left. And so I tell one of the guys, I said, would you like the rest of our pizza? And they start cracking up. And I'm like, what? I don't know. And he goes, he literally just said, and mind you, they're speaking French, so I didn't know what they were saying, but they were talking about our pizza, how bad they wanted the rest of our pizza. And so I just scooted it down, and it opened up this whole conversation. And they're all literally starving actors. And so with Amanda, they just immediately took to Amanda, and the conversation was so fun. Look, they're looking up Amanda.
They're like, oh, my God.
No. They were all the questions.
IMDb, do you have an IMDb?
Yeah.
She's like, actually,
Yes.
yeah, they were so
She's
surreal.
being humble, but
She is being
they're
humble.
real stories.
Yeah.
Well, you were humble that night
And
too.
they were here with the dark hair. He's actually done quite a bit of French, you know, like TV and film, I think. So he's
That's
actually, yeah,
That's his name.
yeah,
I think.
yeah, it is, it is. Yeah.
So, and then the blonde guy, he said that he's really trying to work on his English, and he went to go order bread, but in France they don't use their R's as much as we do, and so he was saying bread.
Funny.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he was the one that couldn't really.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're gonna speak French. Speak English.
Yeah.
But
I think they all did pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Alan. He was so funny.
Alan was cool.
He was so cool.
funny.
His English was really good.
Yeah, very, very good.
And so,
And he took to Natasha.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
oh, Alan.
Yes.
Look at him. He has like the Gaston boots on. He's like,
it's gone.
Telling
Flesh.
the story about his, what was it, his boss.
his boss, he went and had like a work summer in England, and he was telling about his boss, and we were like, reenact, and so he got up and he did. And at the very, I'm gonna rewind it just a little bit because you'll see that he's like, let's go.
Yeah, that was what he kept saying. Let's go.
It reminded me so much of sports, the starters always like, let's go. And I know it reminded you of Dave, right? Yeah.
There's everything about him. And then, of course, the let's go.
Let's
Like, oh my
go.
God.
I loved it. I loved our French guys. They were so fun. Yeah, I have it. I'm
Yeah,
trying.
they found out that it's
Alan,
Melissa's birthday.
what did you do to my computer?
Yeah. I want you to keep looking at me, Ms. Fox.
Now, listen, he was very respectful. He was
yes.
very sweet.
He
Yes.
was.
Here we go.
There it is. There's the bread.
So
with
he
candle.
brought a little baguette.
Yeah.
With a cherry and a candle, and he's like, oh, he heard it was my birthday, so he was like, oh, happy birthday. So he came back, he disappeared for like, I don't know,
Yeah, we're like,
10
"Where
minutes.
No, where you going?"
He came back with this baguette.
Well, and they were saying, you're 22.
Oh yeah,
You're like
22.
like, we all could be their moms. That is so funny when they were like,
Yeah.
with these American girls, we're like, oh, we can be your mom.
Yeah.
They were very sweet. I cannot, hold on, see, sometimes maybe
Yeah.
the
very,
videos,
very polite.
they were. That's why, like, you Americans, us Americans, don't believe everything that we hear about the French. I've had, all 3 trips, I've had really good experiences. So here's her little birthday baguette.
Oh, yeah.
Celebrating 22.
22.
Okay, so we're on our way home, and these 2 are just about ready to fall asleep, like in the
Yeah.
Uber.
Yeah.
So tired. And I'm like, I'm tired, but I'll just sleep when I get home. I want to go and do like the things. And I knew that there were a couple jazz clubs that I had on my itinerary, and this being one of them. And so Melissa's like, I'll go. And so they go back to the Airbnb and get rested up. And the thing is, like, it's probably 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that here. I mean, that is not how I normally live my life. I'm in bed by like 10, 10.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was not an early night.
It
We were
wasn't.
going back to the Airbnb. at
No,
7.
No, yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. But so we went to this jazz place, and it was like underground, which the two that we went to were underground, and it was just really beautiful. But you're not gonna be able to hear it right now. But okay, so there were people, like, when they say like Paris is for lovers, I know in like my little title I said they say Paris is for lovers, but I think it's for your girlfriends instead. Yes, but there are people like all over loving on each other, and I just thought it was really sweet. And we were like, Melissa, let me pretend I'm taking a picture of you. we try to get them. Okay, this guy looks like my brother-in-law. Yeah, it's fun. It's very small. Like they were saying, super small. Good luck trying to find a seat, but okay, so now this is Saturday. This is our day 3. So we're gonna have breakfast, and this little restaurant here overlooks Notre Dame, as you can see behind Katie and Amanda. All pictures. Oh, again, I thought I put these in order. We have more of these. Oh, okay. Well, this is a little out of order. So after breakfast, we head down to a market, and then we kind of make our way up through the whole I'm losing what it's called, this district. Anyways, it's like their university district.
Oh, the Latin.
Latin district. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, in that area, these are very famous stops for the movie Midnight in Paris, which if you guys haven't seen it, I know you need to see it.
I watched it before.
Yeah.
Because there were several spots on this day in particular where I was like, we'll get to the other ones, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did all the pictures. We might have to speed this up. Oh, so Emily in Paris, this is where this area is.
Yeah.
Another spot I had no idea.
Yeah.
I watched Emily in Paris when I got home. All the seasons.
Yeah. This was Marie Curie. She is the one who founded like X-ray machines. So we went there. Okay, so this is the Luxembourg Garden. Napoleon built this for his mom. And again, just more little street musicians. I thought were so sweet. This little French girl dancing with her balloon, just so sweet. All the bookstores.
This was right on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Come on.
Melissa you got the truffle cheese?
Yes.
Truffle cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
That.
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go.
And guys, that the picture kind of looks small. This, it was like what, a foot?
Oh,
Like it was big. It was big.
Yeah.
What can I do with this?
I'm just gonna kind of go through. Okay, so Lava-Matic. Lava-Matic was another little speakeasy, and we tried to go there one night, and the line was too long, and so I'm like, I could probably make it work, and then to go another night, and we did. We went the following night.
I could not for the life of me figure out how to get in that.
So you went through this washer.
Press the button. There we go.
It's so fun, right?
Yeah.
But if I went back to Paris, I could probably skip it. I could definitely skip
It was good to see like where all the hype was about. Like
Yeah.
It was a cute, like small, like you said, small place. So it only fit like what, 25 people in it?
It was
maybe?
small. Yeah.
it. Really
Really?
small.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
for
little,
as long as we waited, we were kind of disappointed, right?
Yeah.
Because,
Oh, yeah.
wow, this is wild,
But like everything is so small, even the seats, like everything.
Yeah.
It was cute.
But they were good drinks.
But
the
it was,
drinks were
yeah, the
good.
drinks were good.
Yeah.
It was fun just to kind of.
So we had dinner reservations down in this is not in the Latin district, but we had dinner reservations at a place in the Latin district that it was going to take us about 20 minutes in an Uber to get there. And so we thought we left in enough time. This is the Uber that I was mentioning earlier that was like, oh my word. We'll just go back here while I explain this. So we get in the Uber and all of a sudden massive traffic. How were we in that Uber for an hour?
Oh, yeah.
It was a long time.
Yes. I think we were like an hour and a half late.
Like, the thing is with going to Paris, like Ubers and like taxis, you're not going, like, we weren't going far,
Right.
but the traffic just took forever. And so that would be the only thing I feel like we weren't super like prepared for,
Yeah.
is that taking that long.
Yeah, and the 2 other times that I had been there, Uber was not a thing. So this was a new experience for me. But the funniest part of that is because we were in traffic for so long, all of a sudden one of you, I was in the front passenger seat, and all of a sudden one of you were like, oh, pee. And the other one, me too. And I'm the only one who doesn't have to pee. And so like we're waiting. And then all of a
Oh my
sudden,
gosh, I forgot about that.
the guy knows no English at all. And she goes, toilet.
I knew he'd understand toilet, toilet. Like, toilet, 911.
So they all freak out and start running to like restaurants to see if they'll let him go to the bathroom. And
Yeah,
nobody
we
would.
finally found something and then we had to go all the bathrooms around.
Going down the
So
stairs.
we had to go all the way down
Oh,
the
the
stairs.
And
like-
mind you, we're in heels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're trying to run.
Meanwhile, Natasha, we don't know where she's in the car, like,
She's still
going,
going.
like,
Yeah.
you know,
The Uber
all
guy,
of a
yeah.
sudden, Travis decided to move, so she starts going farther. Anyway, all that to say, we finally got there. They took us in. We were able to make our reservation. Well, it wasn't our original time.
They said it. Yeah.
So great.
Look at that. That does not look appetizing.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
So we chose this restaurant because Hemingway would frequent here all the time, and he had like a little plaque sat at his bar stool that he would go to. So, but it was the sweetest thing. There was a mom and a daughter who were sitting behind us, and it had to have been the daughter's birthday or something. And the way that the mom like did that moment for the daughter, I know, like I got really teary-eyed and I was like, I miss my kids. It was really sweet. There's a Hemingway's spot. Okay, the outside just so pretty. Everything's just so pretty. Oh, here's the second jazz place we went to.
This was like sardines. and
Oh
things.
my, and it just.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
It was so bad. There's no, okay, so like this guy like is all of a sudden like, want to dance? And I'm like, okay, and he smelled so bad. Melissa. You know, Melissa.
Yeah, I was like,
Hey girls, we're good. Like fire hazard. Oh my gosh.
Which project? There, I like.
It was insanely packed. It doesn't even look like that insanely packed, but it was. Okay, so now here's the next day, Sunday. We went to Hillsong Church there, and this was like, I have hardly 80 pictures of it. That's it. I think that's it. But it was such a special moment for me. Like being able to worship with you girls there was just so special.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, who wants to explain this?
So this was something that we all decided we wanted to do. We picked, it was either between croissants or macarons. And so we decided on macarons. And so we did this cute place where they were going to teach us how to make them. So of course, you go downstairs, you have to like check all your stuff. And they had this sweet little area like where you could sit and
So pretty.
I don't know, they probably have like private parties. and
Parties.
stuff.
Yeah, there was like a wine event happening.
Yeah,
later
they were
on
having
that
an
day.
event there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just beautiful. So cute. And so here we are. Katie and Natasha teamed up and me and Melissa teamed up and we were in charge of different things like making
Different
macarons.
flavors.
Yeah, different flavors. We had lemon curd,
Mhm.
which was like my favorite.
So at the
Yeah.
table, there was a like a large square table and there was 2 people on each side. So there was 4 other people that we didn't know. And so, but each of us had different flavors that we were working on.
Yes. And our instructor was hilarious.
Yeah. And
She really
she was
was.
not afraid to call you out.
No.
Made you feel super uncomfortable
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But she taught us how to do like, all the techniques.
Yep.
Oh, she reminded me of the, have you seen Ratatouille? The chef, the
Oh,
girl
It's been a
chef.
long time.
She's very, yeah, she's a tough cookie.
Here we are enjoying we got to eat
did it.
them and take them home. And I think, yeah,
They were.
it was like lemon curd and chocolate.
Vanilla?
Wait, vanilla?
Yeah.
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 So, yeah.
Yeah.
Melissa in her element
Yeah, we
here.
are, yeah, delicious.
Tea and macarons.
Amazing.
had tea.
We got to taste them. This is the way you're supposed to eat a macaron. Like,
With your friends in Paris.
actually baked off the oven.
Yeah.
Right. I tried to do Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yeah, she won't let us like do like a different shape.
Look how pretty it all was. Okay. So we went through that pretty quickly, but it was one of the best things that we did there.
One of my definite.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you go like you or like preferably, well, I guess desserts are fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So on our way back to our Airbnb, we went by, this is the city hall that we were talking about, and it was just so gorgeous. And they had this whole like,
We didn't
Christmas
realize
Eve.
it because we were like walking
Right.
up
yeah,
and then we were like, oh, wow. So as we like approached, we started to see all like the beautiful decor and the Christmas trees out and like,
Magical.
yeah.
yeah,
That's what it was.
yes.
All like blue, like lit up blue and then like could walk around through it, like see all these different exhibits of like different art pieces. And
I think at that point, that's when we all were really missing our kids, like our kids. would
Oh,
out.
see,
Yeah.
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. I know, 'cause, yeah, we're suckers for Paris. So, okay, so here now we are going to have a late dinner. Katie, I think it was you who said this is the fanciest restaurant I've ever been in, at La Train Bleu.
I think that was.
Yes.
me.
That was you? Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. So here it's like it's still a working train station. So
Yeah, and everybody, the people that work there.
Yeah. Like gorgeous. And there's just so much anywhere in
Look at
Paris,
that.
but like this place in particular, like there's so much to look at.
Mhm.
Like
So
the
wonderful.
detail.
Just
Yeah.
ceiling to floor.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
everything was just so grand.
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Just amazing.
We all were like in awe of everything. So here, you can't hear it, but one of the waiters starts singing real loud, and that was really a special moment. So if I tell you guys I'm going to do a bun, please stop me. No, remember halfway through the night, I took my hair down. Oh, this stuff. Yeah, there we go. You all went to the bathroom again. I must have like a bladder seal compared to you guys.
Yes.
I sent this to Ben. Was like,
Oh, yeah. Work it, girl.
so
That really was like the perfect dress to wear there.
It
Like,
was.
so
It matched
Yeah.
everything.
it was like perfect.
It matched. Yes.
I had a blue dress to wear, and it arrived as I was on my way to the airport. So I did not get to wear it, but I had my white dress, and then Katie had those awesome boots. And
Yeah.
so thanks. But when we were taking pictures, who heard the couple say,
Oh, I did. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were walking by and it was like an older couple and he was, who are they? And the old man was like, who are they? And his wife was like, oh, I think they're models. Thank you.
thank you. We're just a bunch of moms, actually. The fanciest restaurant we've ever been into, but yet Katie sees a mouse.
Yeah, that's who we made here. Actually, and also at the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
There was also on the tower. Like, two, we might be falling everywhere.
Amanda, what are we looking at?
But I had something in my peripheral.
I can't help it. I don't know.
We took all the pictures, right?
Yeah, that was-
It was such a pretty place. Of course. And then literally we're walking out as it's like ringing midnight and it's raining a little bit and then going back to like the midnight in Paris. It was just, that was a really special moment for me there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And we're trying to hurry because Katie has our Uber and she's like trying to tell him to wait and Melissa is in her heels as it's raining. Okay, the next day, this is Monday now. Here we are at the Louvre. And again, it's raining a little bit. The rain did not bother me. I don't know if it bothered you girls.
No.
It bothered my hair.
You know, it was never
Probably.
like a really bad rain. Like it was just
Drizzly.
Yeah.
I love that picture. I don't know who that guy is, but I love that one. That one. So we get in there. What do you guys think of Mona?
It's small.
Mona's
Smaller.
little.
Yeah, a lot
Little.
smaller. Yeah. But yeah,
There
just to see the
was-
line, like
yeah.
to see her
And we didn't really have to wait that
No,
long.
no,
But then
no.
after us, it got longer.
Yeah,
It did.
I like that picture. So, but right behind Mona Lisa is this massive, massive painting of what is supposed to be depicted as the Lord's Supper. I find a lot that is not accurate about that, but it was fun to look at it. You girls had to go pee again. They took off, and Melissa and I
I
are
did not know where in the world. I mean, I'm talking like this place is like a city.
It really is.
I did not know how to get
Yeah.
there. And every time I asked you for like directions,
Part of it, like,
oh my
we were
gosh,
all
we ended
over
up, we ended up, yeah, we
Yeah.
ended up in Egypt.
I think we got into the bathroom and took
Yeah. Like,
You literally were in BFE.
yeah. We are. Big.
I should have said that. Okay, this to me is
Oh,
hilarious. Go ahead, Kate. Tell us about this.
Okay, so I think by this day, lack of sleep too was kind of getting to me a little bit. Like we were good, but so I saw this and they have like a little stack and it explains it. And all of a sudden, I'm reading it and I was like, this is gospel. Right there. That's hot.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm like, okay. Then I start eating it exactly. No, it was pointed out.
Perfect.
Yeah, but no.
See her right there.
Yeah.
He wore it in his buttonhole.
But hey, not, you weren't too far off. You know,
There it is.
and listen,
Yeah.
you know, hey, it's, you know,
Like, I don't know what they do.
I tricks of that didn't.
We don't know what the French people do. Speaking of.
There you go. Oh,
Le Grand Colbert. Who put this on there? I know Melissa. Amanda, did you also
Yes.
have this on
Yeah.
your list?
yeah, love the movie, Something's Gotta Give. And that restaurant is in the movie.
All the pictures I put in here for that. Yeah. So they have these passage bays called arcades. And I meant to go down them, but we got too tired. Oh, hey, did I tell you guys I was on the news there?
What?
No. So I need to months later.
Wait, hold on, maybe, hold on, I'm trying to remember. 'Cause they were doing some sort of the.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like some kind of protest out in front of City Hall, and here's like, I'm like, here's my chance to get Emmanuel Macron. Like, but the girls wanted to nap, and so they went back to the Airbnb to nap. And Melissa and I, we had tickets to go to the Opera House, and so we're like, well, you guys go rest, and we're gonna go there. And then the press stopped us and got a little.
I remember you
snippet.
telling us, you got stopped.
Yeah, just waiting for coffee. Okay, so the Opera House, we had 2 experiences with the Opera House, which were kind of unexpected. I really had only planned on one, but it was absolutely gorgeous. So gorgeous. But the whole, like, Melissa, oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
We got there a little late, just because there was like some misinformation. And so we only had just a little bit of time to like go through the Opera House. And at this point, we didn't know we were coming back. So we were trying to see all the things, take all the pictures, do everything in what, like 15 minutes?
Yeah.
You want to explain that?
Oh my God. So Natasha gets this crazy idea and is like, girl, I gotta get a picture with my black dress. I mean,
Which I have in my purse.
dress.
Oh, yeah.
And it
Those
was
were
like,
horrible, like evening wear on.
ow. Light it on real quick because they were literally kicking us out. They were like,
They were.
everybody,
They were ringing a bell.
yes,
Yeah.
they were shuffling everybody out. And like, well, no, maybe I can do it. She's like, do you think I can do it? I was like, all right, girl, now's your chance. So this girl slides it up, I don't know how she did it.
I will add is if Natasha has something in her mind when it comes to pictures,
It's
how she
gonna
wants
happen.
to take a picture, she's gonna do it.
She's gotta do it.
I don't know if that's a good quality to have, actually.
No,
So
it was the most hilarious.
they were like yelling at us, no, madam, no. And I was like, just one picture. Really fast. It was funny. It was definitely a moment. I kind of wish we would have had it like on video as well, them yelling at me. As I'm like quick changing their Opera House stuff.
She's like, do you not understand what I'm saying?
Sure. So then we went over to the mall actually, because on the mall rooftop has such a beautiful view of the Eiffel Tower. I'll do these quickly. That's the Opera House right there. So then we call Katie and Amanda and we're like, okay, we want to eat at this restaurant called Pink Mama's. And they're telling us if you can get here within like 5 minutes, we can get a table. But yet you were like a half hour away. And we were like, yeah, they're coming. So we finally get.
And I really wanted to go to that.
Yeah.
I had looked it up before and
I think it was the best food we had while we were here.
It was incredible. We tried to get a reservation and they were booked out
Right.
for months.
Yep.
But we were like, well, if we just kind of wait in line, maybe they'll let us in. And so Natasha and I were, let's just do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we got in.
We got in.
Only 20 minutes, right? Wasn't that
Something
long.
like that. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, we just walked in and sat down. So.
Yeah. So I took this picture because we were seated by the window. That was like the one French phrase that I kept practicing was, my name is Natasha, we have a reservation, can I have a seat by the window? And Ben heard me saying this and he got really frustrated. He was like, how about I need help, where's the embassy? I'm like, oh yeah, we should probably learn that. But here's my seat by the window. So here's another speakeasy. We actually did not spend any time in there, but of no interest. It's under Pink Mama's. If any of you go, I just peeked my head in there. They have a lot of fun little places. There it is. This here was another jazz club that we went to, and this was only, I took this because of the Mary Poppins drink, and that reminded me of my cousin Saxony, who had passed. This one was not the best one though, honestly.
No, smelled like smoke.
Yeah,
really
it
strong.
wasn't the best. So the girls wanted a day where they could sleep in. So I left them and I went to Shakespeare and Company. And this is a really famous spot for like Hemingway and Fitzgerald and Gertrude Stein. All these like really iconic writers spent a lot of time together at this bookstore. And so I spent like all morning drawing and writing and just kind of being with my thoughts, which I really, really needed because this trip was soon after my cousin had passed away, and I had invited her to go on this trip with us, and she wasn't able to go, and then she passed, and so it was just like a really special moment for me just to sit there with my thoughts. Pretty iconic paintings across the Seine. Okay, so then I go back to the Airbnb and we get the girls and we go and have lunch, and we're close to the Opera House, and I just fixed this chandelier. So, okay, so then we realize as we're sitting here, we realize that there are 4 tickets left for the ballet that night. 2 tickets kind of closer to the stage and 2 tickets a little bit further away. And so we decide, let's go to the ballet tonight. So we had to rearrange the schedule to be able to make that happen. So from that point, we then went down to the Eiffel Tower to take all the pictures. Here's Amanda. I'm praying that she doesn't fall off this wall. All the pictures. So Amanda's so over the pictures at this point. I just want to cry. Oh, well, why don't you explain this change moment? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it was another change moment. We were like, we had our dresses and we're like, we have to try to get a picture of us, you know, in front of the Eiffel Tower with our beautiful dresses. So Natasha's like, there's a building back here. Do you think they'll let us just kind of go in there? And
Armed building.
Yeah, completely armed. I mean, they really take their job very seriously. And then Natasha's like, can we just go in, please, just for a few minutes to go and change? And he's like, oh, no, madam, we cannot do that. And she's like, well, it should be really quick. So he leaves, comes back, and was like, okay, we'll let you in. So we go in when there's like this, like, I don't know, utility closet or something that we just like. So we changed and come out and we took our pictures. And then afterwards, it was like,
It was cold.
It was
yeah.
cold.
Oh
It was
my
cold
gosh.
this day.
Then I can't imagine.
oh, it was
cold.
We were freezing.
But look, they're fun.
Oh,
Then to change back, we had to change in that same building. We had to reconvince them that we needed to go
Well,
back
because they
in.
changed shifts.
Yeah.
Those new people.
That's new guys.
Oh my God. Back. Oh,
So we had to do it in a stairwell,
yeah,
a dark stairwell.
that was
Here's Amanda haggling with the guys. No, 10,
yeah.
no 20.
I'm getting this thing at a discounted rate.
That's pretty much how it went. Yeah. Then we went back to our Airbnb, changed for the actual ballet at this point.
Well, because Amanda and I, that day that they just went, like, we forgot to mention, like, our legs were jello. They were very sore, so we had went back and we'd taken ibuprofen, we were napping. That's the true story. So I am grateful that we were able to. Beautiful. Oh yeah, absolutely beautiful. But it wasn't quite a ballet that we were.
Oh,
It was a weird ballet. Yeah.
Like, it was the strangest performance I have ever watched.
Same.
yeah.
in
Yeah.
my life.
yeah.
It was really weird. But I do have my Opera House mug that I got from it.
Yeah.
This is a really gorgeous picture of you, Katie.
Yeah.
Really, really pretty. See, Melissa. So halfway, well, right before the ballet started, we were all hungry. And so they had like this little cart area with some prepackaged sandwiches. First mistake. So we eat them.
Was good.
No.
We got the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a vegetarian one. I thought that would be totally fine, but the cheese on there, I remember eating it and being like, this cheese doesn't taste quite right, but whatever, I'm starving. So we eat it, and like the buzzer's going off, and we know that the doors are closing soon. We had to get into the opera house to our tickets. So or to our seats. So we're like rushing and we're eating really fast. And so we're sitting there and I'm like, Melissa, I don't feel so good. I get through halfway and then intermission comes and I'm like, girl, I cannot go back in. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like I'm really sick. So I sat out on the opera house steps there by myself for like the rest of the other 2 hours that you guys were in there. But it was actually, for me, it was a blessing in disguise because I was really able to have the opera house almost completely to myself, with the exception of this Ukrainian family came out and they loved my dress, which, by the way, I got for $15, and I'm so proud of that. So they wanted to take pictures, and I was taking pictures of their family, and they asked to take a couple pictures. There's my Ukrainian friend. We took all these pictures and I'm like, it was a blessing in disguise that I got sick because I wouldn't have these pictures, and I like love my $15 dress in this opera house. So it's just kind of fun.
So going back to the opera house though, so when
Yeah.
we booked the tickets, they were not 4 tickets together. So they were 2
Yes.
tickets together, so we had to be separate. And so then, like, this was something that those two were able to get a little closer, and then me and Amanda were like, that's fine, like put us in the back, we're good.
Yeah.
So we did, and so halfway, it was a much longer performance than we thought too. So once it was intermission time, she got up and she's like, I need something to drink and a snack. I'm like, okay.
There's Amanda snacking again.
Yeah. I need my food. The lights were going off and they were about to start again. Well, she got a, like I said, bag of chips.
Like the loudest thing you can eat.
Cola, like in a can. So at this point, when you laugh, like it was quiet. You start dropping. Over, it like everybody could have heard it. Well, so she set her Coke down because obviously she wasn't able to open the Coke, and very slowly it's chips. Well, you know when you try to be really quiet, she puts a chip in her mouth and she's like sucking on it. Wait until it gets a little soft. All of a sudden, dark, and I'm sitting right next to her, and I'm like, what in the world? Bacon strips, like, oh, they're a ham flavored chips. Okay, I didn't know that. When I put the first chip in my mouth, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, is this like something wrong with this?
Oh
What's
my
happening?
gosh.
So of course I look at the bag and it's got like a piece of ham on it. And I'm like, of course, like, and so another 90 minutes. Oh yeah, or something. I don't know. It was quite a while. It was so funny the whole time. She's trying super quietly to just. And so once it was over, the Coke is cracked. It was
Coke and it fell.
yeah.
Oh, it blew under the lady's seat in front of me, and I'm like down there on my knees, and it's pitch black, and I'm like trying to find the Coke. And I'm like,
So that was obviously we're not being very opera proper, and you shouldn't be laughing anyway. And we're making noises. So all the people around us, they're older too, and so they're like looking at us, like giving us ugly looks. And when you're laughing, that's all you want to do. You just want to laugh. And at this point, I have tears in my eyes. I always smell his hands. She's dropping cans of Coke.
and I didn't want to open it after that because I thought it was going to spurt everywhere. Because I dropped it, I'm like, there ain't no way I'm opening this down. So, man, the minute that curtain, like, I was like,
Oh yeah.
I was thinking of Coke for an hour and 30 minutes. That's all I could think about was like, please, get us in. Like, I'm sick of this break.
It was so funny. That was like, yeah,
That's what made it.
that
like-
absolutely made it. Yeah,
That night really provided a lot of really good stories.
yeah.
So funny. So,
On that note, gotta go, guys.
Oh, okay.
Girl.
yes.
But please finish this out.
Love you guys. Okay, well, I think we're almost done. So, all right,
So, and I'm gonna grab a macaron on the.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Sorry, I hate to disrupt everything.
No, you're good. You went out on a high note there with the handshake. The handshake. Yes. Oh, gosh. Okay. We'll do the next little bit really fast.
love you. I can't believe we have all these stories.
So I never threw up in the opera house, but when we get our Uber and on our way back to the Airbnb, it like hit me really bad. Bye. And so I have like my big black dress, like my fur coat, and all of a sudden I'm like, pull over. And it's funny because I always think about like a commercial or something where a girl's like running with like her big black dress with a train and through the streets of Paris. Like, instead, it's me with my big black train, going in the wind, and I'm like, all over this. So
Most grateful
Fitting moment.
I've ever seen.
With her fur coat
Yes.
and everything and her earrings.
I found the one tree in Paris on the streets that I probably killed it that night. So, but then, oops, wrong computer. This is me trying to recover, but what I slept with these headphones on because the street noise was so loud, and upstairs above our Airbnb literally sounded like a bowling alley at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sure what was happening there, but okay. So the next day I decide to take it easy and just rest at the Airbnb. And later, after I started feeling better, I went out on my own. But the girls, they went down to Versailles. So you girls take it away for that.
Oh, this is the Hall of Mirrors.
Yeah.
That was so beautiful. All the chandeliers and mirrors from ceiling to floor. It was just Again, it's like gorgeous. you see photos of like these places, but to see them in person, it's just,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
pictures don't do it yeah, justice. no, And that was the courtyard, which it was in December, so it wasn't
Yeah.
fully in bloom, but it was still really, really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Massive.
And that was Marie Antoinette's
Cottage?
quartered, yeah, cottage.
Chateau.
Yeah.
Chateau.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that was,
Tell me about this. I don't know what this is. Do you remember?
I think that was.
Oh, I
the
think it
jewels. Yeah.
Okay.
jewels, Yeah.
Royal jewel.
Okay. This is your shining moment.
This is Katie. That was on her bucket list.
Yeah, I just wanted to be able to go there and buy something that I could have forever. And, and then Charlotte one day, if she wanted to use it, she could. So it was just, I really wanted to be able to just go back to some of the shops and just the way that it worked out, there was lines in order to get into some of these. And so then you decided to, we had talked about it.
Yeah.
As far as like brands, like
Yeah.
certain specific brands. And so this was one place that we were like, you know what, I wanted to get like a little wallet and a purse, and she wanted to get a purse. I'm like, okay, this is it. We'll just do it.
Yes.
So we didn't really have to wait that long at all. Went inside, and it was such a fun experience. It really was. And to be able to do it with you, and so,
And they really
yeah.
gave us the royal treatment. So
Yes.
when you walk in, they hand you like champagne or tea.
Yes.
You and Amanda had some
yeah,
tea. And they were just like, oh, what would you like? And they brought out, several
Yeah.
different purses for
Yeah.
us. So we just felt so,
yeah. Like
Like
spoiled.
somebody.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. It was special.
I love that picture.
Yeah.
And you went to Ladre. Yeah.
Those are the best macarons I've ever had.
Were they so good?
good.
Did you not have any?
No, I didn't buy any.
Okay, so here they are going back up to the arc.
And this is the day that we found out the actual pathway to get up there.
Remember, we actually attempted.
Like, no, we did.
The
We
street.
did,
I don't
and
know what
then,
was-
yeah, and then somebody like
They-
hollered at us,
Yeah.
and they saved our life because we wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have, and so,
There is an go through.
Yeah,
to
and we
get to the
did.
side, so.
and then to make it up there too, because it was stairs.
Oh, like,
Oh my gosh,
spiraling stair. I mean,
never ending
we
stairs.
actually had to stop several times to catch our breath because.
Yeah. Then we kind of got dizzy a little bit too,
yeah.
just because like it was
So I told Natasha, I was like, it was a good thing you didn't come because I don't think we would have made
Was
it.
not
or
feeling
not
well.
being feeling,
Yeah.
not feeling
but
well.
the view up there was
Yeah.
so beautiful. Yeah, it was so beautiful.
I was having such a good time by myself down in another district. So it was totally fine that I did not make it that night. Oh, so here's what I was doing. So if you would hear the video, it's very French music playing through the streets, which was really pretty in the sunset. So this is what I was doing while they were out. This is the McDonald's there. I did not eat there, but I took a picture for my kids to show like how fancy their McDonald's is with like the macarons and the croissants and everything there. Fromageries. You gotta be careful with the French cheeses. That's what I'm telling you. I'm here to say, like, you gotta be careful. So I went to my own laundry with the little Marie Mousy while they were in another part of town. So I just went through, oh, Maxim's. Okay, so at this point, we all come back together at the Airbnb. Amanda is now super sleepy. So she wants to stay back at the Airbnb, but we had reservations at this restaurant called Maxim's. This is our last night there. And I know for like me, I had this whole like idea in my head of like what I'm gonna wear. This is a very, very famous restaurant where throughout the decades, like it's a place to be seen and to like people watch, right? But I was still not feeling well, so I couldn't muster up my outfit for that night. But the best way for like me to describe it, it was probably like the sexiest restaurant that I've ever been into. It was the lighting, like the people, it was a cool place. Our dessert. So we paid like $25 for that dessert. And we could only take a couple bites because it was so rich. And we're like, can we have a box? And they're like, no boxes.
No,
We don't do that too.
We don't do that to you. Yeah.
Okay.
So we were not able to take any back to Amanda. I thought that was just a really pretty picture with that car there. Okay, the next morning.
Oh my gosh.
Last day, we're like leaving. This is okay. I thought, I think if we would not have come home that day, she wouldn't have made it. Two guys, okay, so like our suitcases.
Oh my gosh.
So mind you, they don't have elevators now in a lot of the buildings. So yeah, this is how we were carrying our suitcases. And all the things that we bought, like my suitcase was full of books. I bought a lot of books while I was there. And so I had to wear 2 coats on the way home. Coming home, there we go. But the last like story that I really have is you were able to get the Uber to the airport pretty fast. Because the thing is, like the Ubers were not like big. So we knew that we were gonna have to separate because when we got to the airport on the first day, we each had to separate. We had to get 2 different Ubers. So we knew we'd have to do the same thing. So I had called for an Uber first. And so me and Amanda, we got first. And so then you guys, her experience was just a little different. Yeah, so like I pulled up Uber and I booked a ride and all of a sudden like my Uber app just like started crashing, and which come to find out, we ended up like getting like this massive charge, and we were able to like dispute it and everything. And so it's fine. But I was like getting hacked into at that moment. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, and it's like early in the morning, what, like 6 o'clock in the morning,
early.
something like that. Yeah. And so there's not many taxis around. So
No.
they're already gone. And now, like, my Uber's not working. I don't think you had Uber on your phone. And so we're like trying to figure out. And so we see a cab, and I like wave down the cab, and he's, you know, asked where, and I said, Charles de Gaulle Airport. And he goes, no, no, no. And I'm like starting to feel like, oh my gosh. And I was like, like believing with this guy, and he just like takes off, like almost running my foot over at the time.
Yeah, he was like, nope.
And then by the grace of God, there was a van. Well, first Natasha's like, I don't know, we might just have to take separate cars. Like, you're gonna just take a separate car.
They just would not let. We had too much money.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was like, what, an hour away was the airport?
Yeah.
It was like 45
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
Nobody
It
wanted to
wasn't
take
super
us.
close.
Yeah, so finally, this like van comes down, and he was the nicest guy. Like,
Yeah.
he actually was, we were talking about World Cup. His family is friends with the Mbappe family, who was going to be playing in the World Cup. And it was like a great conversation. And the Lord really took care of us in that moment, because we made it to the airport and we were good. But that was a very scary moment. That was probably my most scary
Yeah,
moment.
I can't imagine. I would have freaked out.
Yeah, you gone. Yeah.
We're making it.
So anyways, I think I told all the stories. I think the only stuff we did not tell are the glasses, the Latraine Blue glasses. I was able to talk that fancy Latraine Blue restaurant into giving me 2 of the glasses, and I tried to talk them into 2 more. And I was really pushing my luck. So I had to stop.
Well, as it was, he's the only 2 days.
Right. Yeah, so I'd have to have my airplane water. Not if I had any more. So anyways, it was one of the joys of my life, being able to go to Charles. Absolutely.
It was the best.
Yeah, and you were amazing. You had everything planned out from day one, every hour. We're going here.
For me, if we're doing a 7-day plus trip, day 4, I need a break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. It
No,
was
it was great. It was great.
And for me, Amanda swears that, and she goes, her husband is, I did not get sick from the cheese. I got sick because I literally just made myself sick. I know it's the cheese. So I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of both, maybe, but regardless, it was the absolute best.
Oh,
It was.
we did
So good.
so much, saw so much.
Yeah.
Amazing memories. I'll never forget.
Let's take our girls.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right. So what do they say in Paris? For good health, Santi? Santi. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and end this. And I really hope this recorded. Because if it didn't, we're in trouble. Bye, guys.